I think that Damian is saying what I'm about to say in a roundabout way. Louis Riddick, I'm going to be straight up and down with you because you know how much I revere you. I completely disagree with you with what you're saying, and I'm disappointed in what you didn't say. A lot of this was about primetime Deion Sanders. You can say whatever you want to the audience out there, to these idiotic trolls all over social media talking about, Shedeur Sanders wasn't that great or whatever. There is no one, I repeat, no one that looked at Shedeur Sanders and even had him less than the third best quarterback in the draft. This is a quarterback-driven league. This guy was considered one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the draft, and 143 picks came and went before you heard his name. Don't talk to me about football. I don't want to hear a damn thing about football. This ain't about football. This is about something else. And I said that even though it's different, I brought up the name Colin Kaepernick. And why? I didn't sit up there and throw a pity party for Colin Kaepernick. I knew his career in the NFL was over the minute that the NFL organized that workout for him at the Atlanta Falcons practice facility, which was led by Jay-Z and those cats and Roger Goodell and what have you, and he elected not to show up and instead tried to have the workout an hour and 20 minutes away, and he going to notify them 2 to 3 hours before the workout. I said he is done. And I have no sympathy because, damn it, they tried to make it happen because the league had to do it because the owners didn't want to. It's an accident that no owner in the National Football League wanted to touch him. We can use the word collusion. It ain't necessary. They think alike in a lot of different situations. They don't have to collude with one another. There's a universal understanding that this is our league, and we want to do what we want to do the way that we want to do it. And we'll be damned if anybody's going to tell us what to do because guess what? We running the show, and people going to come. They're going to flock to the stadium. They're going to have their tailgate parties. We going to win in the ratings. We going to make damn near $250 million apiece as an owner. Ain't a damn thing anybody's going to do about it. We understood that years ago. But suddenly we're going to engage in collective amnesia here. Hold on, Molly, because this is very important. Primetime Deion Sanders' hands are not clean in this. Shedeur Sanders' hands are not clean on this. If you go into an interview and people thinking that you brash and arrogant and what have you, and they think that they're going to have a problem working with you, that's partially on you. Primetime Deion Sanders going out publicly and stating on the record, there's a couple of teams we might not want him with. And he ain't going there if we going to get him, if they're going to select him. And he's on Tamron Hall's show, and she's like, what if your son don't listen? He said, who? What? Like, that ain't going to happen. You look at NFL teams, along with the specter of people potentially calling for him to be the next coach, you can understand the reticence. But for 143
Stephen A., hold that thought, because you brought up 3 points.
Yeah, it's Big JTV, man. You know what I mean? April 28th, 2025, man. If y'all get the chance, if y'all Canadian, I'm Canadian, my Canadian people, go out there and vote. Really huge election, man. We do not want to repeat the nonsense. I'm not telling y'all who I'm voting for, but y'all can take a very big guess. Y'all know what time it is. Big JTV, like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I'm rocking with y'all. Let's talk about it. And the thing is, here's the biggest, the crazy part is, I'm going to be real with you. If I'm Cam Ward, if I'm Jalen Milroe, I'm high-key offended. I'm high-key offended that I was, picked way before Shedeur, but the whole conversation, not only from media, but from everybody, has been about Shedeur Sanders, right? And why? Why has it been about Shedeur Sanders? I'll help y'all understand why it's been about Shedeur Sanders. Because of Prime, because of Deion Sanders, in a good way. And I'll be honest with you guys, right now it's in also the bad way, a very bad way. And I think Deion Sanders hurt Shedeur's draft stock dramatically. This will be a case study. There'll be documentaries about it. There'll be features about it. But the key here is understanding that the reason Shedeur Sanders went at pick 144 is mostly because of his father. See, Stephen A. Smith speaking about this, like I had at the beginning of the clip, is halfway correct. Halfway correct, but not the full story. Again, I did a video, I think a few videos ago, describing why Mel Kiper was calling the NFL a disgrace, disgusting, what happened to Shedeur Sanders. I think that Mel Kiper himself is halfway correct, even wrong in this situation. Because what we've seen, right, is multiple examples of people like Shedeur who got picked way earlier but did not have a connection such as Deion Sanders. And also, if we look at it, there's been a ton of quarterbacks who don't have the skill of Shedeur Sanders, who don't have the accolades of a Shedeur Sanders, that actually got picked way before. We've seen it so many times. Right? Let me give y'all some perspective. The same draft that Lamar Jackson was drafted in, I think it was 2018, Josh Rosen went before Lamar Jackson. Josh Rosen went before Lamar Jackson. Baker Mayfield got picked number 1. And Lamar Jackson was going to be a second-round quarterback until Ozzie Newsome realized how stupid the entire league was. Right? Let me tell you something. There's a ton of quarterbacks that we see getting picked up and they absolutely bust. Actually, it's more common than not. It's a statistic that said something like, 60 or 70% of quarterbacks picked in the first round are like busts. Right? So this is something that's been proven to be almost inevitable, that you're going to miss more than make in terms of picking a quarterback in the first round. Historically, quarterbacks in the second or third round have been pretty high and done pretty well, right? We've been talking about Trevor Lawrence for a hot minute, and Trevor Lawrence has been, I consider him a bust compared to what he was being projected to be, right? You have Deion Sanders, who had said in interviews that there's some teams that he might pull an Archie Manning with. They are stories of how Shedeur Sanders went into meetings and interviews with multiple teams and sandbagged it and ruined it on purpose because he didn't want to go there, right? Deion Sanders even tweeted some things about Cleveland. He wouldn't want to go to Cleveland. He wouldn't want Shedeur to go to Cleveland. And I think that kind of attitude, and I'm going to be real, that arrogance rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And once they realized that and they felt that energy coming from Shedeur, for me, I don't perceive it as arrogant. But guess what? A lot of GMs, a lot of owners, a lot of people who would give Shedeur the keys to the franchise, they said, nah, we don't want it. We don't want it. Now, is that right? Is that wrong? That's up to you to decide. Because there was a very arrogant dude called Cam Newton. I personally believe that's why he is not in the NFL right now. Because when you have a guy with such a large personality and such a confident bravado or arrogance, if you want to say that, having him as a backup doesn't seem fitting, and it actually would cause more problems than solutions. You know what a backup is in the NFL? A Cooper Kupp, a Chase Daniels, at this point, a Carson Wentz. But once they see your attitude on who you are and they don't like it, regardless of race, they're going to take you backwards. They're not going to have you in the league. I'll also give you guys an example like this. Jalen Milroe, I think, is going to be the Seahawks starting quarterback by week 6 or week 7. Why? Because Jalen Milroe is actually the type of guy who gives me Jalen Hurts energy, meaning he'll be humble, he'll keep quiet, he'll fall in line, and that will get him an opportunity and a chance. I'm just going to keep it real, man. This does not scream racism to me, man. This screams like Shedeur Sanders was a turnoff to multiple GMs and multiple coaches. And they didn't like the way that the father had such a huge influence in him. Keep in mind, Shedeur has never played for any other coach his whole career, his whole life. It's always been his father. And they didn't want the media noise, which, for example, Stephen A. Smith is one of them. Keep in mind, Deion had worked for a ton of different media companies, and he has a lot of friends in the media. So the media was campaigning for Shedeur when Shedeur